I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet.
Want to support the show? Do all your Amazon shopping through we'refromtheinternet.com/Amazon, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, but we get a little kickback on everything you buy.
Hi Kev, hi Steve. How do you feel about the football close season?
Sweet, sweet relief from the hell that is the football season.
It's, I find it the most interesting part of the season, because you just watch all the clubs go, that 5-year plan we've just started clearly isn't good enough, let's just drop it and do another one. And that's not all clubs, obviously, but Spurs, Liverpool, people like that, they're constantly just clearing the decks out and starting again. And you just think, like, I don't understand football because any moron can see that consistency is probably the most important thing. You got Arsenal, people like that at the top constantly. Chelsea have had the same moneybags chairman hurling money all over the shop constantly. Man City haven't had consistency and they're struggling for it. Like, I know they're struggling much higher than us, but they've not been consistent with their plans. They've kind of chopped and changed. So, I don't know. It just seems like it's interesting to see what crazy plan they're going to come up with next that will be the next big thing. And I always think this will be the one where they finally realise that if they just stick with any plan, it'll probably work out over 10 years. But they all don't. So, yeah, it's fun.
That's because the fans are fickle and will turn on them. The amount, I mean, even now Arsenal have started to turn a corner. There's still so many Arsenal fans out there who want Wenger to be sacked.
But do clubs really care what these numpties think? I mean, they're Arsenal fans. They're obviously foolish anyway. You can just ignore what they think. They don't even know football.
It was the best plan any football team have ever had. Spend all that money on a ground, spend 10 years paying it off without buying any players, and then come out the other side able to... I mean, they're signing players for £50 million now, and it's all coming out of... There's no debt there. Exactly. It's all coming out of all that bloody ticket money they're raking.
I mean, even though I don't like them, I feel bad that they do that plan and they could have been finishing second or third constantly, at least. But Chelsea come along and just get handed it all when they're like a no-mark 6th place club.
Oh yeah, if they'd have come up with their plan 20 years earlier, it would have all been a lot more interesting because they just sort of figured out a way to become filthy rich 10 years too late when 2 other clubs figured out the easier way to do it is to find someone who's already filthy rich and have them way into it. But no, as a posh fan, I've been very, very open in the past about the fact that I really wish my dad had never taken me to my first football match because unfortunately from then I was hooked. But I really don't like the fact that I like football. I don't really enjoy anything about it anymore apart from those odd times when it's the best thing in the history of the world. And trying to explain it to a non-football fan when Anna questions it, and like when we went to Old Trafford a few years ago, it was the 7 minutes of heaven. It was fantastic.
It was a brilliant, brilliant experience, and it's weird to think
the amount of absolute trash and boredom you have to go to earn those moments, and it's only football fans who think like that. Imagine if it was a video game or a movie or music or a book or any other kind of entertainment. Right, I've got to read 40 really awful books before I get this one that's absolutely phenomenal, but I don't know when the phenomenal one's going to come on.
Isn't that what we do?
We don't read them. We write them and hope a good one falls out eventually.
Keep reading them, there will be one.
Yeah, podcast is a good example for us. We're, 70, 80 episodes in now? I'm not counting. But it must be like our listeners thinking, sooner or later there's going to be one that's superb, and that'll make the last couple of months of my life worth it, and I'll give them another few months to come up with another superb one then. But people don't think like that. If we have a week of really ropey episodes, they'll just unsubscribe. But you can't do that as a football fan. You're right. Even though I don't want to be a posh fan anymore. I mean, that's the only interest in football I have now. I don't watch Premier League.
You could do what Angry John did and switch from being a Reading fan to a Man City fan when I get a few quid.
I'd love to do that. I mean, I'd love it. I would love to be able to just flick a switch and say, right, I'm a Chelsea fan or a Man United fan.
I wouldn't work with you if you changed to Chelsea.
But it would be so easy to support a club like that because you're always winning and it's fine.
I don't consider Man City an easy club to support. I think they still have. They've not really... I mean, I know they obviously upgraded their squad, but I don't think they've gone Chelsea strike me as like they've literally just poured money down the drain, whereas Man City spent a lot of money on the backdrops, and their owners actually have a thing or two about them. Do you get what I mean? They've not just stolen money from a country.
But from a fan's perspective, if you're a Chelsea fan, you don't care about any of that because you just won the league.
That's 'cause they're mugs. I know there's Chelsea fans listening going, I ain't listening anymore, but
they just won the league. Why do they care what you think?
Don't like Chelsea.
Well, they probably don't like you.
Oh, they don't.
But, you know, if anyone out there has successfully given up supporting a football team, and I'm not expecting to be able to go and support, I wouldn't want to go and support a different team. If Posh went
out, basically.
Yeah, if Posh went out of business tomorrow, that'd be the easy way out. It'd just stop. If I'd have been a Wimbledon fan 10 years ago, easy, can just stop.
My dream scenario was that they say, like, so this whole FIFA thing, I think now they're probably going to have to disappear. Why don't they just say, right, football's finished now?
You know exactly why they won't say
hear me
that.
out. And then say from next season it's year one again, completely new system,
new teams.
Here's the final. Well, not necessarily new teams.
It needs to be new teams. I'm in.
You're saying like this is no longer like this is the new system. I don't know, tweak something about it.
12 players.
12 players, 2 points for a game instead of 3 or whatever. 1 point for a win, 0 points for a loss, and that's it. Loss on a draw, sorry, and that's it. And do you know what I mean? Just kind of have something tweak about it, and just say right now it's UEFA football, whatever. It's no longer anything to do with FIFA. So, because if you look at that, then I think the rankings of all time over the past 50 years, annoyingly, Spurs are still only 5th place, or 4th.
I would think you'd be quite happy with that, bearing in mind that's far higher than anyone would expect.
Well, no, but I looked at the other day, Liverpool top, which is shocking, but not so much. I think it's Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, it must be, and then Spurs. So we are 4th, actually. We're 4th, because then Chelsea are 6th, and Man City are like 9th or something, because they've not had the success enough. They've only had it in recent years. But if they just finished football like that, and said, because I sent you a message saying Peterborough 69th. All time, past 50 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Exactly.
I would say, in the grand scheme of things, we're a mid-table League One team. That sounds about right.
So that's it. So if they just said tomorrow, tomorrow, we've decided to draw a line under it. Liverpool were the greatest team ever. Let's move on. That's smart a little bit, but good on them. Well done. You won a lot in the past. Let's move on. And then I could probably think, right, I'm done. That's the end of that chapter.
I wouldn't be able to be done because Posh would still exist, and I would still I'd still check the score every Saturday.
You might also find it more interesting
on the radio.
But if they said we're starting again.
That's the thing, I do find it really interesting. I love the statistics of it. I spend loads of time playing Football Manager. The whole idea of it, I love. It's football fans I don't like.
Wouldn't it be great if I suppose they need to get rid of the fans, but wouldn't it be great if they did a tournament? Like a one-off.
Could call it the World Cup.
No, a one-off night. Oh, the FA Cup. I am basically describing the FA Cup here, and all 90 teams involved in one cup. But the order they finish in is the order that the new league starts up in. So if, I don't know, Spurs were to go out in, round 1.
Would you seed it, though? Because what if
I don't think you should. I think you should just have it.
Man United against Arsenal in round 1, and one of them has to then start at the bottom just because of the luck of the draw.
Well, that'd have to just be Arsenal for historical sake, because they never actually got promoted into the top flight, did they? They finished 7th or 6th, and
they've also the only team that's never been. Oh no, Everton as well. Have never been relegated. I don't think.
Whatever, ever.
Yeah, never been relegated from the Premier League.
Oh no, from the Premier League.
Well, from the top division.
There's 7 teams that never been relegated.
No, from the top division. I mean, I think it's Everton and Arsenal. Because I think Coventry had never been relegated until they went down.
But Arsenal had never been promoted into the top division either. They just got put in there after the war.
So Everton should be. So they should be really miffed by that top of all time that Liverpool won, because by rights it's Everton, because they've always been up there.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird, isn't it?
Want to help us spread the We're From the Internet word? Leaving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and Stitcher would give us a nice little boost in the search results and help new listeners find us.